home loan? Do you dream of owning investment properties? You are in the right place and the right time because we have created a program which is a tax lien and deed investment online course of only 14 hours. This course is specially designed for people like you who have big dreams. You will learn at your own pace and everything from your home computer. This is your chance. Join our membership for $19.99 a year.
Welcome to Prime Time Home Buying. And I will be here with you, your host, Lady Lashley, your legal real estate consultant. Okay, so today we're offering our free seminar. We offer at least once or twice a month at the Fulton County Library, highlighted real estate sales. If you're interested in that topic, we have ongoing seminars highlighting foreclosure sales, deed sales, tax lien sales. Please see the invite on Eventbrite. The information is at the bottom. So today, we're hosting our monthly seminar where we're going to be talking about navigating the foreclosure jungle, a beginner's guide to safe and strategic investment. So guys, I need you guys to get ready to put the thinking caps on because it's going to get hot and heavy. So before we do it, I know we got a lot of work put our invitation on, and then we're going to get our intro started. I want to say thank you so much for being here with Lashley, giving us a chance to teach you. Again, we're not here to sell you anything. What we want to do is give you the tools to be able to do your due diligence, okay? We want you guys to be safe. We want to make sure that when people enter into the real estate market, no matter if it's foreclosure, tax lien, deed, sheriff sales, that you know what you're doing and you have done your due diligence and you understand the implications of you actually investing. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We have a detailed breakdown. So get your pens and papers together. Now, I just want to first off start talking about these few factors before we get into just the facts of investing in foreclosures. One, these are 6 steps that I want you to pay attention to. Write it down, take a picture, do what you got to do. The first thing to do is determine your objective. Highlight the interest or obtain the information related to the property that will help you decide what interest or something what you will receive after investing. So one, determine your objective. Key, are you comfortable with the long stay or are you doing things for short-term growth? This is the first thing you want to look at. Determine what you have to invest. Budget. Remember, if y'all going to an auction, the first thing I say is have self-control. Don't go in there acting crazy and get out of your actual, budget and then mess around and be barred from the auction. That's one of the penalties of overbidding and not being able to pay. But also, you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're overbidding for a property and it's not worth it. 3, the next thing I want you to do is select the market to invest in. Start with the market that you are familiar with, or one that you're interested in, that you're willing to do your due diligence, because you want to know as much about the land, the zoning, how much a fair market value of the house is doing, the commodities that's coming in, no matter which way you're buying real estate. Pick states. I would recommend that you pick states that have more than one process of buying homes, like the tax lien sale. Sometimes you can pick a state that has the deed, but most states have either or, foreclosure sale, sheriff sale, and they also have the land banks. And that's some of the things we're going to be getting into this year. Number 4, research the county's website before calling, before going, before doing anything. Research, and or request information, okay? Especially if you're planning to do business with this particular state or county, you want to build that relationship based on you're coming in not only as an investor, but someone who is part of the family, because you're going to be part of the community. So go and know what you're talking about, be friendly, build a rapport, okay? Make sure that when you're doing your due diligence and you're going to go in there, that you know you can't order subdivision maps. You don't have to be the owner. You can order certain deed information if that's what you want to for 50 cents. So you can make sure that you know what's going on with this property as far as being able to transfer it. Okay? When you're dealing with foreclosure sales, there's a few different ways that you can approach it, and sometimes you may have to do a little bit more due diligence, depending on which way you actually enter the market. Okay, we're gonna go into that today. Next, review, the area, determine if the land is available for building, if it's zoned correctly for what you want to do. You want to get in contact with a real estate agent, someone can help guide you, to at least price value, the land, a little bit about what's going on. They can at least help you. That's why I say always get an expert. Never just throw your thing, just, I can do it all myself. I always say, because I'm a self-pro se type of person, go to the experts as well. But you want to know what you're talking about so they don't take you around the block, okay? Also pay attention that there's a lot of online resources that you actually can use, such as the county clerk's office, such as the county recorder's office, assessor's office. A lot of these things are online, and you can review a lot of the documents already. So it just goes to say, on top, I want somebody to see what you talk after you do it here. I have it, I don't think they need that. I have a little stuff in it. Okay, so purchase, determine if the county do over-the-counter sales. Determine if there's another way to actually invest in these properties. Sometimes they have land bank sales, sometimes they have direct communication with people who's over the housing department in that particular area, and because they have to get rid of land, they may be able to work with you a little bit more readily, help you through the process. So that's some of the things I want you guys to do before you get started. And now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty, guys. Get your pen and paper. This is action-packed. We're going to run through this. It's going to be about an hour, 45 minutes. We're going to try to break it down, and I'm not going to talk too fast. You're tuning in on the Primetime Home Buyer platform. Thank you so much for being with us. We're working to get ourselves back in the algorithm, so please hit the like button. If you don't know, we have a sister channel called Secure Your Energy Page, which is Lady Lashley, where we hold all of our seminars. So if you've been missing out, we hold seminars every Wednesday down at the Fulton County Library in Lien. And then you can actually just watch it online, but we do want you to come in person. So let's go. Some of the things that we're going to be getting into today: Navigating Foreclosure Jungle, a beginner's guide to safe and strategic investment. Why consider investing in foreclosure homes is what we're going to talk about at first. Get into understanding the foreclosure process. Knowledge is power. Under that section, we're going to hit understanding the stages of foreclosure, and that's where I want you guys to pay attention to, because if that's not done correctly, you may have some problems transferring over your title. So this is why we do our due diligence, and get so deep in, because if something happened to be wrong with our particular property when it comes to transferring over from person to person, entity to entity, we would have been able to catch that because we were paying attention to our paperwork. So, pre-investment process, and that's just going on to what I was just talking about in detail. Research. Do your due diligence, our due diligence checklist for our members. Hold on a second. Oh, shoot, that was the Illinois Attorney General. I gotta call him back. That was important. All right, guys. So we're just gonna keep the broadcast going because we are in the middle of something. I hope they need their message, because that is very important to me. Still apologize. Okay. Pre-investment process, step by step. We're talking about research, your due diligence checklist, finding your foreclosure investment. 2, find opportunities, property valuation. You want to evaluate right so you can know what you're going to invest. And research financial preparation. We're going to go into developing bidding strategies just a little bit, because when you're in here, you get a little nervous and they mess up. Okay? You got to have your plan together. Bidding strategy. Don't get caught up in the heat of the moment. Making an offer or bidding. That's what we're going to talk about. Closing the deal, sealing the deal, and post-auction consideration, renovations and exit strategies. That's what we're going to talk about. Renovations and exit strategies. Key risks, challenges, and common pitfalls. That's what we're going to fall off in. And then we're going to give you some essential tips to remember, okay? Yo, get your pen and papers ready, y'all. And we're live. You can sign up for the next one that we have next month. We'll have the dates up on Eventbrite. Probably by the first week of November, okay? Just want you to know it's going to fall on a Thursday, probably the last Thursday of the month. Why consider investing in foreclosure, guys? The primary draw for foreclosure home is the potential for discounted prices. Distressed properties are often sold by motivated sellers, either the homeowner, the bank, or the court. And we're going to show you each method so you can see which way you want to enter. Who prioritizes a quick sale over maximizing profit? This can translate into 1, instant equity, 2, higher ROI, potential return on investment, and less competition. Because a lot of people don't know how to do it or they're intimidated by it. And we're going to show you how not to be intimidated by it. So again, the primary draw of foreclosure home is the potential for discounted property. Instant equity, buying below the market value means that you can have equity in property from day one. More than just the inflated value. You know, you go in the regular way, buying through a loan, you're buying fair market value, you gotta build up equity depending on the market. Higher return on potential, you could be coming into equity already. You bought a foreclosure home for $40,000 and a home worth $300,000. You know, this can happen. So a lower acquisition cost can lead to a higher return when you eventually sell or rent the property. Less competition sometimes, while popular, certain foreclosure stages like auctions, people don't like it. So it's less experienced buyers, they don't really go that way. So you have the potential to have more access to different inventory. Understanding the foreclosure process, let's get to this. Okay, it's 3 realms I want you to pay attention to. Take notes, okay? Before you know about bidding, it is crucial to understand the foreclosure process in your specific state. So you want to know about the laws of foreclosure home, anything that pertains to it, you want to do some pre-research about that, okay? This varies significantly across the country. Knowing the different stages from pre-foreclosure auction to real estate owned will help you identify opportunities and potential risks, okay? Due diligence, okay? Pre-foreclosure. This is when the homeowner has defaulted on the mortgage payment but hasn't yet lost the property. At this point, you could potentially work with the owner to navigate a direct purchase, potentially avoiding the bidding war. So that's one thing that you can do in the foreclosure sale, before the foreclosure sale takes place. And we're going to show you where to look for that information. You can do it midway, at time where everything is done at the auction. Properties are also sold to the highest bidder, often with cash requirements and limited inspection opportunity. This is where you have to do your due diligence prior to going to the auction. Pre-foreclosure phase, you may be able to work with the homeowner, see the home, talk to the lawyer, get to do whatever, you know, just giving you an idea of the potential risk of your investment. But in the auction phase, the only way that you're going to be able to mitigate that risk is when you do your due diligence, and that's what we stress. That's what I stress. That's what I teach. That's what I got to say. Due diligence. Okay? At the end, real estate owned. These are the properties that failed to sell at the auction and are now owned by the lender, the bank, the mortgage company. REO often offers more flexibility for negotiation and inspection compared to auction process. So when it doesn't sell in auction, you can still contact the bank or the lender to see if the property is still in their possession, and then you can have some negotiation time with it. Now, they're trying to get rid of it. Banks, counties, and lenders are not in the game of owning the property. They just want to be the person in the middle, okay, receiving some benefits from it, okay? So let's get into the pre-foreclosure. This is the pre-foreclosure phase. Take notes, because this is when you can enter into the market. So I'm teaching you 3 different times you can enter into the foreclosure market. This is the pre-foreclosure phase. Lease pendants, okay? Notice of default. That's when they get their notice of default. What is it? The period after the homeowner has defaulted on their mortgage payments, but before the bank officially repossesses the property or the foreclosure sale is scheduled, okay? This is when you want to know. Where you look for the notice of default? In your local newspaper where they make an announcement. Yes, every day look for those. And they'll have the lawyer information and lender information. You can call and find out. How to find them? There you go. Public record. County recorder's office also has them. Online services that specialize in distressed properties or through experienced real estate agents and the local classifieds. Okay? Investment opportunities. This is often the best things for investors. You can directly negotiate with the homeowner who might be desperate to sell and avoid the foreclosure process and a hit to their credit. Okay? So this is still about the pre-foreclosure. We're going to talk about the pros and cons. The pros and cons. The pros, the ability to inspect the property at this pre-foreclosure phase. Clear title can be obtained through standard processes. At this time, they don't have a lien on them from the mortgage. Now, they may have liens from other stuff that you want to look for, because you always do that, but they won't have that big major lien on them. Potential for a win-win situation where the homeowner avoids foreclosure if you get a deal. So you're helping, okay? It's not being a shark. You're trying to help people. So offer them a little bit more than what they owe, because you know the fair market value of the property far exceeds that. So that'll be good for you. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, other pro, potentially, like I said, pro, the win-win situation. The possible con, homeowner might still find a way to save their home. That's why you need to be aware of them and be trustworthy, okay? Don't do money unless you get something signed. You can do a loan modification or bankruptcy. This is something that I teach in my course. What to do if you find a tax lien property or a deed that has a bankruptcy attached to it. There's some things that you can do to get rid of that, okay? So, also, the concepts that require sensitive negotiating skills, and that is very important. As a real estate personnel, you want to know how to negotiate, and I think that first line of negotiation will come when you're actually buying, if you're going to the auction process, or if you're selling. Because when you sell, you got to negotiate. So use those times to practice and get brushed up. So, the second phase where you can invest in foreclosure auction, which is also known as a trust sale, sheriff sale, is interchangeable depending on what your county want to call it. You just ask them. Is this the same thing as a foreclosure sale? I'm like, no, yes, and then, it's okay. They're going to be mad at you. What is it? The homeowner cannot resolve their default during this period of the foreclosure stage. The property is put up for public auction, typically held on the county's court steps, just like the tax lien sale and the deed. So that's what I said, when we go to the tax lien sale, I tell my students, hey, you make sure you got the right one, because sometimes you even have auction.com that sets up there too, and be there in person. So how do you find these foreclosure auctions? Now they're in the auction phase. You public notice again, local newspaper, it's going to tell you when the auction come up. But then you go to prior weeks, that same place where you saw the public notice for the property. Now it's going to say for auction. County Sheriff's Office will have some of the information, website you can call, or online auction platforms like Bid for Assets. You know, I always say Bid for Assets and the other places that I have shown you guys. I just like them. You know, they make it easier for people who are in foreclosure. They use those, so the companies will use those online platforms instead of hiring an individual lawyer to own it. So that's why you'll have multi-states on your platform like Bid for Assets, foreclosure.com, I think, off the top of my head. So again, this foreclosure auction process is investment opportunity. Properties are often sold to a higher bidder, sometimes for significantly less than the market value. And that's why it's good to do foreclosure sales. Not better than deed and tax lien sales, y'all know how I am, but it's definitely way below the fair market value. Now, the pros and cons of this particular stage. Now, again, it's known as the trustee sale, sheriff sale, entertainment. Figure out what you probably call it. The pros is that potential for a steep discount. Quick closing, cash payment is usually required and many of these within 2 days. Just like you go to any typical auction, it's done. Enjoy. But the con to this at this point is buyer beware. That's why you have to do your due diligence. Do due diligence. Properties are sold as is with no opportunity to inspect or appraise before you buy salt unseen. They may have outstanding liens. Now, the first process I said they may not, because they didn't get to have outstanding liens, but they may have outstanding liens now because it already got through this process with the court litigation. You can inherit existing liens such as property tax, second mortgage, HOA fees. That become your responsibility to get rid of or pay, depending on your position. We teach you that. But these are things that you can look for to begin to get them cleared prior and or get them ready to be clear about time you get ownership, okay? The only thing that I know you're definitely be allocated to pay is the IRS as a tax lien investor. Now, you have to look at state law as a foreclosure investor and see how liens attach to foreclosure process properties at that time, and they be remarkably different. And that's why we host a legal seminar for you guys to teach you guys how to do the research, okay? Now, outstanding liens may be wanted at this point. Cash requirement, most often not planning, you pay. You have to certify the funds within a short time. There may be a redemption period still at this point, but, you know, chances are slim. You can try to figure that out depending on the area. But in some states, the original homeowner might have the right of redemption after the sale, meaning that they can buy the property back within a specified period, i.e. between 6 to 12 months, or and by paying the written bid plus associated fees. So a lot of people are not doing that. That's something you should be mindful of. Occupancy issues. There could be someone in the home, but any property that you buy too, except for, you know, through the mortgage company. But every other way, there may be somebody in there. So original owners or tenants may still be living in the property, requiring you to go through the eviction process. And just know sometimes when you buy it through the lending process and you need extra days to stay, it becomes a problem. So know the eviction process in the state that you are in. Now, the next stage you want you to pay attention to when you can enter into the foreclosure market is the real estate owned. When it's not sold at the auction, it's retained by the mortgage company, retained by the lender, okay? And they still want to sell it. So if the property does not sell at the foreclosure auction, the bank, the lender, repossesses it and becomes the real estate owner. The bank then sells it in the open market, sometimes making their original fair market value back, guys. So you really don't want to do it at this thing, but if they really desperate to get rid of that house and you know that hasn't been selling or won't, they probably will work with you. How to find them? Listed real estate agents often specialize in fair market value homes, basically. Bank website on major real estate listings. At this point, you're at Zillow and List.com. You're going to be repurchasing this property that was foreclosed by the bank, so they put it right back in the market. Isn't that fun? Isn't that dandy? Huh? Right. So we want to find a way to circumvent that process and make as much money as possible. So again, this is an investment opportunity. Banks are motivated to sell the REO property to recoup their loss, often pricing them competitively. So look for those as well. The pros and the cons to purchasing at this stage is, one, the pro is standard purchase process. You can typically inspect the property, conduct appraisal, and get the title insurance at this point. Through the auction, there may be a wait for title insurance because there's a redemption time for the homeowner, and most title companies don't want to secure a title that can be redeemed in a certain amount of time. So sometimes they give you a year or 2 years to get title insurance. Remember, title insurance will not stop you from owning a property. You can own property without title insurance. That is not regular property insurance. Title insurance is used for you to secure loans. Point blank period. Okay? Finance options. You can often secure traditional mortgage finance for REO properties. So that's basically the basic way of the time of warrant. But I want you to know the 3 different phases that you are welcome to enter in this phase, okay? At this point, the con is that you get less of a discount. Prices are generally higher than the auction as the bank only minimizes loss. The property is still as is. While you can expect banks generally sell as is, meaning that they won't make repairs. If you were with the homeowner, private owner, that's when you get more negotiation with repairs. Slow process. Banks can be slow to respond to offers and negotiation. So be on them. Don't take no for answer. People are emailing once a week. Put it on auto send. Conditions. Property may have been vacant for some time and could be in poor condition due to negligence or even intentional damage by previous owner. So keep that in mind, guys. Keep it in mind. All right, so investment process, let's get to this, step by step. Are we making our way downtown? We 15 minutes, 30 minutes in, we're doing good, guys. Let's go. All right, so the investment process, now this is where you want to get your pins on auto, okay? Bear with me, please hit the like button if you're in the audience and you like what I'm sharing. Very informative. We have a lot to share. Research, research, research. Do your due diligence. 1, find your foreclosure investment. 2, property value and research is the next step. Next, financial preparation and finding the opportunities to solidify again. All right, so education and due diligence, understanding your market. I always get quiet at important stuff like a teacher. Don't be on the test. Understand the market, research local real estate trends, average sales price, rental rates, neighborhood disparities, because this is what's going to directly affect your market and the value of your home, what you can do with it. Research, before you do anything. You want to look at the legal landscape. Familiarize yourself with the state specified foreclosure laws. You want to know the redemption time, when can this person come back? Are there liens? What liens are priorities? Which ones do I have to pay back? And the ones that I don't, how do I clear them? That's what I teach you how to do in my seminar, okay? Building your team. Connect with knowledgeable real estate agents specializing in foreclosure. And reputable title companies. So reputable, I do apologize in my head. My mouth is really heavy. Reputable title companies and trusted contractors and a real estate attorney. Have them on roll. Just because we're independent, doing our own thing, ask a lot of questions doesn't mean we don't need to have these specialists here. So sometimes just take the torch and run with what we started, or to just go and do what we have to do what they have to do. We know what they're doing. Okay? Again, location. Just like any real estate investment in generally foreclosure, location is critical. Consider factors like the school district, crime rates, property taxes, and future development, because if it's a foreclosure, you may have some damage. There may be foreclosures going on all around the area. How would that affect your actual reselling the property if you have 4 or 5 foreclosures around you? You have to pay attention to the market. Legal regulations, research the zoning regulations, building codes, anything that's specified with the ordinance, which you can and cannot do that will affect the investment. Maybe you want to sell something, make this a commercial / residential. Is it zoned for that? Can I get it rezoned? Are they updating these type of things? All right. Finding foreclosure opportunities. So, online places again, I'm giving you all of the places that you can look. Take your notes right now. One, online places like Realty Track, say it slow, Zillow Foreclosures, Alt.com, with various types of distressed property. You can also public records, visit your county courthouse and recorder's office to access notice default. You can look at that, it's online. And also lease pendants filing, that is notice to a default. You can see that online. And the auction schedule. Next place you can look, again, local real estate agencies. Have a man, right-hand woman or man for the state that you're in. Experienced agents often have access to distressed property listings before they hit the open market. And you want to have someone who can drop a little $50 spot so they can go look at a few properties for you throughout the month. Help them out, they help you out. Direct marketing, because they could be a real estate agent when you're ready to sell that property. That's what they love. So direct marketing, for pre-foreclosure, consider sending letters to the homeowners who have received a notice of default. So when you verify that they have, you can. Don't say be sharp. They send these to people who are not in default, actually. I know y'all have got some of their own home, but that's what they're doing. Property valuation, the value of it, and research. Compare market analysis. CMA, determine the after repair value. AVR, notice after repair value. These are new acronyms. I know we probably in different sections. I got the old acronym. We have real estate These are some of the acronyms. So ABR, after after repair value, that's what you want to know. You buy a house and you know that it's going to be used, you want to subtract that from what you're going to be getting back if you sell the property. Estimate the repair costs, get detailed estimates from contractors for necessary renovation. You can do basic roof research and say, how much would it take to get a roof fixed in Arizona in this county? What's about the average? So you can have an idea. Okay, and then you can start to contact the specialist to give you quotes. That's if they don't have to access the property. Title search, crucial. Now, this is only if you're about to, like as an alternative investor, we don't pay for title search until later if you really need it. We teach you how to do your own title search. We have a full seminar that's called soft title search. I say that's for legally I can be in compliance. And not telling you, I'm teaching you how to do a full-fledged title search, in which it pretty much is. Going back at least 80 years, but that is very important. So it's crucial for any auction, tax lien sale, deed sale, sheriff sale. Go and do a title search, soft title search. You don't want to pay $200 to a title company and you're not going to buy a property. For auction especially, the preliminary title search is vital. Uncover any hidden liens and cumbers that could transfer to you. This is often difficult at auction because you can save at auction, but can save you from a catastrophic mistake. And we teach you how to do this. We teach you to find everything. For pre-foreclosures and REOs, a full title search will be part of the sale process. So the pre-foreclosure, I told you, and basically reselling the property, that title search is going to be part of the process. And you'll be aware that you'll have to pay for that. At the auction, no. That's why you're supposed to do your own title search. Property inspection, if possible. Only for pre-foreclosures and REO, always conduct a thorough, personal, and professional inspection. For auctions, you have limited to only look at the exterior. Okay, guys? Due diligence. All right, research, continue. Title search, absolutely essential. That's what we're talking about. Ensure that there's no outstanding lien, judgment, or other encumbrance on the property. A clean lien is crucial for the smooth transition to your name. Property inspection, if possible, their professional inspection. Foreclosure properties often require specified repairs. You want to have a handyman or someone inspector on your list. If you are hiring a purchaser and a first-time purchaser, just try your best. Have a specialist that works with you. Understanding the scope of the work needed will help you accurately estimate renovations, costs, and potential pitfalls. Some things you just can't fix. Some things won't make sense for you to fix. You understand? Some things are just condemned, and you want to know that. You can also look at what properties are actually condemned according to the plan. Compare sales. Always do your comps. Yep, that's when you turn into a little realtor. You'll be doing your own comps with particular properties that's the same attributes as your home in about, 10-mile radius. And you compare and contrast what they were sold for, what repairs they had, what commodities, and compare it to yours. Okay? Analyze recent sales of similar properties in the area. This will give you a realistic understanding of the market value and help you determine a fair purchase. We do have a video that we have available on Part-Time Home Buyers page, the same page you're watching, that talks about comps and how to do that. Okay, so you can watch that video. It's an hour seminar. It should be able to help you with that. Financial preparation, budget and savings. I told y'all, don't go in there and overbid. You're going to lose. Secure finances for auction, cash is always required. Almost always required, so know what's the requirements, because you don't want to say, I'm going to cash out, or I'm going to sell it, and they don't want it that way. You never know. For pre-foreclosures and REOs, get pre-approved for mortgage online. The credit or lien line of credit, consider hard money loans for quick closing. If traditional finance isn't feasible, and that's for the pre, and that is the post. For when it's in the auction, you don't have that option. Budget beyond the purchase price. Factors and closing costs. Factors and closing costs if you're doing phase 1 or phase 3. Potential repairs, you're dealing with phase 1, 2, or 3. Overdue taxes, if you're dealing with phase 2. A fees, potential eviction costs, and holding costs, utility insurance. You gotta just keep that in mind. You never know, okay? These are things that specialized, especially specific to your county sometimes, for transferring of lights or whatever. Just just expect to have a little buffer. Does that make sense? So that's part of your financial preparation. Always budget more than you think you'll need for repairs. Key. Have a little buffer. King is cash. Or have a creative strategy. Okay? Foreclosure auction offers require cash for 5 funds. Securing financial beforehand is crucial. Cash, if you have the funds available. Hard money loans, these are short-term loans that are specified designed for real estate investors. And quick funding, if you already have a portfolio, you can get one started with a quick money lender. Hard money lender, I do apologize. Private lenders also as well. I talked about that yesterday in our economic development class. If you go to these crowdfunding platforms, you have a business, they like your idea. They may fund it for you, it would just be beautiful, Excuse that my light is going in and out, but you'll be fine. Now, private lenders. Build relationship with private lenders can provide access to capital for foreclosure investment. Cash is king. Okay? Consider partnering with another investor to pool resources and share the risk. Also, contract, make sure that you have it down pat, that if this happened, you want to deal with someone who's an asset, not a liability. I already told you guys, relationship is king, not just money, relationship. You have to evaluate the people you deal with and businesses you deal with. Are they credible? Are they living up to the test? Okay? You can't just like what we see. They gotta do what they say they're gonna do. Then we like what we see. Okay, developing a bidding strategy. We're getting our way through this. Thank you guys. I think we'll be finishing an hour and a half. Developing a bidding strategy. Don't get caught in the heat of the moment. Self-control. Developing a bidding strategy. Don't get caught in the heat of the moment. Auctions can be highly pressured environment. Develop a clear bidding strategy and stick to it. We also have a bidding strategy PDF that's located on the website if you would like to check that out on Part-Time Homebuyers, thebuyback.org, or you can go to Part-Time, it's at the buybackteam.com. I believe that's our URL. You'll go under the frequent asked questions on the first page of our website, and you will see there people bidding PDF, and you can download it. Teach yourself. Start. Okay, attend an auction. Just like I tell people who study law, go in there and see how the judge acting. Go to these auctions. Just stand on the side. You're like, it's a little sharp. Ooh, I like that. Get to know what's going on. Observe the auction before bidding allows you to understand the dynamics of the bidding process and the people who's there. I went to one in Clinton County, and it was Gwinnett. And I was a little scared at first, because they was just like, oh, sharp. Then you go again, you know how it goes. It's a little friendly, things a little easy. Be prepared to walk away. And I ain't afraid. If the bidding goes beyond your maximum, be prepared to walk away. Overpaying is a receipt for financial disaster. Don't be pressed, you'll be less stressed. Now we're making a bid in the order offer. Pre-foreclosure. This is when you make the bid offer. Negotiate directly with the homeowner. Present an offer that solves their problem, cover their mortgage, provide moving expenses while still being a good deal for you. That's the things you want to consider. A little buffer out of it too. You never know. Okay, and you don't give them the money. Okay, you pay it. They got to make you their power of POA for that transaction. You never give them the money for that. Okay, all right. And you may want to get a lawyer involved too. Auction. This is when you'll make a bid on your offer. Attend a pre-view session if available. And set a maximum bid based on your ARV minus your repair cost. Available revenue, okay? Minus the repair cost, hidden costs, and the spared property margins. Stick to your limits. This is why you want to keep these things in mind. If you're investing and you want to make an offer or sell in, you know how it goes. You just submit your offer to the real estate agent, to the bank. Be prepared for counter offers or potential for response, or sometimes you get it out. You just never know, but this is the typical way. So there's 3 ways to get into the foreclosure market. Okay, so closing the deal. Pre-foreclosure. This follows the standard real estate closing process with inspection, appraisal, and insurance. That's what we're doing and tell us. The auction, the closing is immediately over the few days, typically requiring a full cash payment, and you often receive a trustee deed or share of deed. It is not a warranty deed. If you want to know the difference between deeds, we also have a free video on this particular page that teach you about the difference of deeds. One of the deeds that I hate, that you will never get in a transaction like this, is a quick claim deed. That's the deed that I call AKA fraudster, okay? But we also talk about the warranty and all the types of deeds that's attached to mortgages, so you can, for your knowledge, okay? Now, pre-auction considerations. While you're doing a pre-auction investment, this is what you want to consider. Remember I told you, legal representative. Remember, you don't want to put no money in them people handing them left, pay their stuff off and say you ain't never give it to them. Consider hiring a real estate attorney to do contracts and ensure a smooth closing process. It doesn't cost a lot. Sometimes they charge you $1,500, $700. It depends. It's not a portion of the sale because they're not doing it. Eviction process. Please be aware that post-auction consideration that you may have to evict someone. If the property is occupied, you may need to initiate eviction proceeding, which can be time and consuming and sometimes costly. And you know, they have been doing away with a lot of the processes that have made people become squatters, so thank God for that. If you want to know your local and state laws. Renovations or repairs is something that you want to consider post-auction. Plan and execute renovations effectively to minimize the property's value and to maximize, I do apologize, the property value and to attract potential buyers. So whatever you need to do, you got to change those windows real quick, do the lawn, get the fence and the roof fixed, do those things in orderly fashion, okay? I'll say get the roof fixed first, then the lawn. Roof first. Okay. Now, the other consideration is renovation and your exit strategy. Renovation. Execute your repair plan effectively within your budget. Make it make sense. Exit strategy. That is supposed to be what you decided at the beginning. I hope you stick to it, but if you don't, that means something came up and you had to change the plan a little bit. Maybe you wanted to hold the land, but then you found out you could build on it, so now you're building on it. Maybe you wanted to build on it and you found out you can't, so you're just holding it. Whatever it is, just be flexible, but do have an end-point strategy. So your exit strategy, decide how you will profit. Look for the profit, sell the renovated home quickly, rental property, hold the property, and rent it out for passive income. Especially because everything is inflated. Right now, you probably end up getting everything, fair market value in a year. I'm cracking jokes, but I'm not. Y'all know how high it is renting. Own an occupant. This is what you need to consider. Moving into a home yourself. Through this time, it's more common for traditional buyers than investors, so sometimes you just go move in. What if you get a 2-family? If you live upstairs, live downstairs. You know, be creative. Maybe this is how you want to buy your first property. But this is not the conventional mortgage rate, so it will take a little longer and may take shorter. You have to understand that it's not the typical way of buying a home. So we're getting to the end. I thought we were going to do 2 hours, but it looks like we're going to be able to break it down. Okay, I moved through this pretty fast. The last time I held this, I think we went for an hour and a half. I was moving a little slow, and then I had more people who I was interacting with. So today we're going to finish up a little bit early. Not too bad. So if anything I say went over your head, hit the replay button, definitely hit the like, and then put it on slow-mo so you can hear me, okay? Listen to it as you drive. I'm like your professor, but I'm not the dry eye professor. I'm the good professor. All right, so key risks and challenges. Hidden damages is one. Property are often sold as is, owners only may have neglected maintenance or even intentionally damage the property. Unclear title liens, that's what we talk about, that's what we look for before we even put our money down, that's called the soft title search, that's what we do, and that's the seminar that I offer you guys for $79.99, you have that information forever. It's like a 7-hour series, broken down in 45 minutes teaching about how to do a clear title search. I call it soft title search. So especially if you're going to an auction, you should inherit significant debt or legal complications if you don't do a good title search. Occupancy issues, someone living in there can be an issue. Previous owners or tenants may refuse to leave, requiring lengthy and costly evictions. Competition, popular foreclosure homes can attract multiple savvy investors during the uppricing. So pay attention, especially if it's a high value area or high value state, such as Florida is a high value real estate, Georgia, things like that. Like Maryland is easy going. A little complicated as far as legal compliance, but it's not as high value. It's starting to pick up now, but that's what I'm saying. Things like that, like places like Arizona, places like rural places, they probably have less competition. Keep in mind, other risks and challenges are market fluctuations. Real estate markets can shift, impacting your projected ADR, internal value, and profit margin. You also want to consider the time and effort. I'm not going to be one to sell you a dream. This is not an overnight process. It doesn't happen in 5 minutes, and everybody doesn't hold their hand through the process. You have to be diligent. So, finding, researching, and managing foreclosure property is a time-consuming and demanding practice. But once you get into it, and you got it, and you get it on automated, it's amazing. Lastly, when it gets to common pitfalls to avoid, and that is emotional dating, emotional reaction. Even when talking to the accountant and says something crazy, or a lawyer, whoever, emotional dating, emotional response, throw it in the window. Throw it out the window. Okay? Let those emotions cloud your judgment and lead you to overpay or overthink or underthink and not do that. Ignore hidden costs. Factor in all potential costs, including repairs, closing costs, and holding costs. Overestimating the market value just because you like to play it, it's going to be worth $1 million. It's not what you want it to be. You're supposed to compare with your comps. That's why we know what's actually happening. It is, facts over fantasy. So overestimating the value, be realistic about the property's potential resale value. Neglecting the due diligence is a pitfall, and that's what happens to a lot of us in real estate, a lot of business that started in 2018, when we were pushing, just go out and do what we have to do. This was the issue. Negligence to due diligence, that was the issue. Skipping essential research can expose you to significant risk, and that's not what we want. That's what we want to avoid. We don't want you to be exposed to significant risk. So I think this is it. I can say this is it. I done did more and more. I do believe this is it. Essential tips for success: do your homework. Never buy foreclosure without extensive research into the property, the market, and the legal process. Property, market, legal process. Property, market, legal process. Period. Inspect when possible. Always get a professional inspection if that stage allows you. The auction does not. Talk to the neighbors. Drive by. Get a realtor to look into it. Maybe they can see when some things happen. Have your cash ready. This is essential for success. Have cash ready for auction. It is non-negotiable for other stages. Cash or ready assets to the fund to give you a like, hey, if you're talking to the mortgage company, like, I can get this into you in 24 hours, and somebody say, well, my lender is going to be cleared in 3 days, they'll go with you first. Possibly. So have your cash already solidified. Build a solid team. A knowledgeable real estate agent, attorney, contractors are irreplaceable. You always, don't be a one-man band, ask for help, never be afraid. Calculate all or most costs. Don't just factor in the purchase price. Account for every potential expenses from repairs to holding to even selling. How much it take to sell this? Don't get emotional. I guess I gotta say that again, okay? Stick to your budget and investment criteria. There will always be another lead. There will always be another opportunity, guys. That's why you look at 4 or 5. So you don't be hyper vigilant and, because there's going to be something for you. Understand your exit strategy. Know how you plan to profit before you make your offer. Know and envision how it's going to end before it gets there. All right? So, learn to earn more. Join our expert lead seminar to master these strategies that I talked to you about. Maximizing profit and growing your wealth. So I ask you now to register for our program, Primetime Home Buyers. We're going to exit out and we're going to finish off with a commercial. And I want to say thank you so much for being with us today. We were actually able to do this in 1 hour. We'll have more participants. We usually here for an hour and a half or so. But God be the glory. If you guys have any questions, you just let me know. And let's play this on the way out. Okay? Sign up on Eventbrite. More information is available there.
Only an elite of experts is successful. In a time of so much uncertainty in the air and bad news, realist investing can seem intimidating. But today, I want to tell you that if you make the right decision today, you can enter the real estate market from the back door. Bad credit record, no credit at all. Do you dread the idea of having a home loan? Do you dream of owning investment properties? You are in the right place and right time, because we have created a program which is a tax lien and deed investment online course of only 14 hours. This course is specially designed for people like you who have big dreams. You will learn at your own pace and everything from your home computer. This is your chance. Join our membership for $19.99 a year.